Hi guys! I've made a lot of journals in my YouTube journey, but I wanted to do a different one today. I hope you guys follow along. This is really fun, fast, and easy. We're going to learn a new way of binding. Let's get started.
So this is the template of the little pocket that we are going to need. At the bottom of the video, in the description, when you click see more, it will have a link to get this template. So for this particular book, I'm going to make 12 of these this size. I'm just going to use a pretty cardstock, a heavy cardstock, and I am just going to make them up in all different colors. After you have cut and you've scored where these go, I'm using my double stick tape just on the edge here, on the inside, and also a little bit of tape at the bottom. So I'm going to put the one flap down, attach this one over the top, attach this one over the top, and there you go. And look, we have 12. So I am using this strip of fabric, and it is 45 inches by 2.5. And this is what you would get if you would buy a jelly roll. It's called jelly rolls of fabric. This is the size they come. I'm giving myself a little room at the end. And what I'm going to do is adhere, and you're going to line them all up. Just double, triple check you have enough fabric. And if you were doing more, you definitely want your fabric a little longer. I am using Steam-A-Seam, and this is a fusible web. And use it with fabric, you can use it with paper, you can use it with so many different things. I really like this, and this is a really nice adhesive. So I've cut pieces of Steam-A-Seam, and I'm putting it on the back side of these envelopes. And you want to make sure you don't go over. Like I'm just gonna trim some of these off because I don't want excess hanging off. Stick that down nice and well, and then I can still even peel this sheet of paper off. And I'm going to line them up. You are going to see a slight line of fabric, a very, very, I don't even know if that's 1/32nd, just a tiny, teeny bit of fabric in between these. So if you don't want to see your cute little flops here, you can do it the opposite way. I just really like that look. Whatever side it's facing up is what you're going to be seeing. And I'm not going above this. I could, but I'd want to cut that notch out. So we're going to continue and just do this to all of them, leaving that tiny little bit of fabric in between the two. Okay, so I've stuck all of these little pockets down onto this fabric with my fusible web. And I said whether you want it facing forward or backward or however you like it. Now very carefully you want to turn this upside down, make sure they don't shift or move. I am going to iron these down. And when we have this ironed down with this super strong Steam-A-Seam, these are not going to come off. So this is why you don't want the excess sticking up. If it was here, you would have gum, melted gum all over your iron. You're going to have a trail at the end, a little excess fabric, one end and the other end. I am going to fold and fold, make all these little teepees here. Even if you use more or less of these, you want an even number. And now we have all of these fun little pockets. And that's why you want to leave a little gap in between each, but we're also going to be adding paper. Your book like this, I'm not pushing it too tightly because I will be adding the paper in. Here's this excess, and I'm going to trim it a little bit. I'm just trimming it to where the end of this is at. And then after I've done that, I am going to do the same thing with the other side. I'm going to take a little strip of Steam-A-Seam, but you can even glue that and glue these on top of each other. I'm just going to cut a little strip. And I'll lay this over the top. I'm going to just put my iron over this and melt edges to seal the back. And be very careful, your iron is hot, or it wouldn't be melting this, but you don't want to burn yourself. Now you can see how this is, it's all folded together, but it's still kind of open. So what we're going to do next is we are going to cut some paper. So what I'm doing for my pages, I am using just some fun paper I have. You can cut as many or as few as you would like. And this is 2 3/4 by 5 inches. And what you're going to do is fold them in half and make signatures. We have 1, 2, 5. You can put 5 signatures in here. Divvy out some of your paper and fold it in half. This is 5. So I'm using a very heavy wax cord, but you can use any type of heavy duty thread that you have. Start at the beginning, right here, in between these two. Lay this in between where that little strip of fabric is. I'm going through there and coming up through here. Now I'm going to tie a knot. Now you don't want to pull so hard you rip your paper, but just tie a little knot and then I'm just going to trim it. I did that one. Now in between these two, I'm going to put my next section in. I'm going to go down through here and I'm going through that piece of spine. So this is going through the very spine in the back. So I'm going to start my next one. So just do this with all 5 sections and then we're going to put our cover on. So I got all of them sewn in, and isn't this fun? So if you wanted to do nothing else, you could wrap a little tie around it and you could just be done with it. Isn't that just adorable? And fill all your little pockets with goodies. But I wanted to do a cover, and this is chipboard. The reason I have the spine doubled is that it gives you a lot more durability and strength on this. I am going to adhere these 2 pieces together like this, and I am going to cover it with fabric. So I'm just using another piece of steam-a-seam since we're on a roll here. You probably could just glue this together. Put one on top of the other. Now at this point, you could just paint this. You could decoupage something over it. You could stamp it. You could use transfers. So you could do whatever you would like with this cover, because afterward we are going to glue this spine right into there. I am going to use some more really pretty fabric. So I'm going to cut this in this. And this is just a linen that I like and I thought was really fun. And I want to cut this a little bigger than my actual book cover. I just want it because when I put the steam-a-seam on, I want to be able to fold this back and iron this down. Okay, so I'm just going to iron this on the back of here. So I'm just going to put this line like in the center. So I'm ironing it very carefully because there still is steam-a-seam here, so you need to be really careful. I'm going to cut these little corners. I'm covering the back anyway. The reason I'm folding this over is then you're not going to have a million strings coming off the edge of your off of the raw fabric edge. So I am putting a piece of steam-a-seam on the inside of this, covering that, iron that down. I'm going to use this piece of paper on the inside. So since I'm going to iron over this ink paper, I'm going to use some parchment over the top. Now, if you'd like to embellish anything else, add any other fun things, this would probably be the time to do it. We are actually going to glue this spine to this book. I am going to use my Titebond Quick and Thick, and there may be some other glues that may work better for this. This worked really well with my other one. Your notches are facing up. This is the front of my book. You're going to see where your score lines are. Press that in there. You want it held down nice and tightly. And I am going to get a clip to keep this shut while this dries. So you can see this is going to hold this down and tightly very well. And we are just going to let this set and dry.
Okay guys, I hope you thought this was fun. It's fun because we just used simple pockets. We put it together and just added our own little embellishments. This guy's still drying, so he's still clipped. Hope you guys give us a try, but whatever you do, have fun.